What's up, guys, and welcome to the channel. As you saw by the title and thumbnail of this video, we're going to be doing a little bit something different today. We're going to be working on this red toolbox that was found in that 1940s Chevy trailer. And if you haven't seen that video yet, I'll link it up top. Should have a pop-up coming up. And check that video out. It's a really cool trailer. Just getting into the build. And so first one, we just find it and pull it out. Take a quick look at it, but going to be working on really getting into it and tearing it down. So check that out and look out for that series. But now getting into this. So this was in the back of it, along with basically the only other interesting thing was a license plate from '91. But this thing is, you know, it's really old, really cool, and haven't been able to open it. This piano hinge on the back is, I mean, it's rusted hard. Let me get a little light. So, and I've put a little bit of heat and WD-40 on it and haven't been able to get it open. It's just rusted really bad. So I think what I'll just have to do is drill out the rivets. So start and drill out the ones on the top and see what's inside. If it's just dirt, I've had a lot of dirt just come out of it right now. But I'll grab the drill and we'll get started, see what we can do. We got both of these drilled out. Let's see if we can get this unattached. So this will probably prove to be a little bit difficult, just because the whole thing is still going to be rusted shut. Alright, this is proving to be a little bit more difficult. So I'm actually going to grab a angle grinder and see if we can grind this down a little bit. First, I have a wheel on it to like sand it and take off the paint, and then we can look from there to see what we can do. Alright, now that I got the angle grinder, let's see if we can take this down a little bit. Alright, yeah, so we still just have a little bit more of this rivet here. I'm going to put on another disc, put on a grinding disc for this, see if I can just touch up that edge and get that off. Kind of looks like that hole missed a little bit where I drilled, but it'll be all right. Now let's see if we can get this off. There we go. That's separating right there. This side is really rusted shut bad. Alright. Let me just try to work down from this side since I know this is coming off. So since this lid it's really stuck, I can't really get heat to do anything. I'm just going to try to take these back rivets out so I can just try to get the entire lid off. So I may have actually found what's holding it, and it's probably not rust, but it almost looks like at these spots right there where it's in, and then there and there, it looks like it might have more rivets in it, or something that's holding it. I don't think it's rust. So I think just because there's no there's nothing at the surface of it for me to grind off, I think I'll just take the cutoff wheel. And I apologize for the noise. It's raining on the barn. It just started, so it's kind of loud right now probably. So I'm probably just going to take the cutoff wheel and try to run it down in there, just staying away from this back sheet metal and cutting into the piano hinge, if anything. So I'm going to give that a shot. And just because of the rain, this will probably be all I do filming tonight, and I'll probably pick it up back tomorrow. So let's see if we can get this cut off and see what's inside. Alright, there we go. We got those cut and had a lot of dirt pour out. So now let's see if we have anything in here. And you can see right here where we cut those out. I don't know what that was, but and there's the inside. So, unfortunately nothing cool, but we do have the top off. And then so now, we just have to get this hinge separated from the lid. So we can work on that in a little bit. So I think I'm going to pick back up tomorrow. Hopefully it's not raining too much. I know it's supposed to rain the rest of the week, but it's just probably going to be a little loud on the audio from the rain, but I'll pick it back up tomorrow. Now with the top off, I'm going to use this sanding disc to try to get some of this rust and old paint off and see what the metal's like. And we'll take a quick look at the sides here. Looks like this was tried to be repaired before, and they tried to weld this end cap back on here. Maybe just this backside came loose, because it doesn't look like this front was messed with at all. So maybe it was just the back corners, because it was on both of these sides. That looks like in the past they tried to weld this back together, and well, they burnt through it pretty good. So we'll see what we can make of it. I don't know, we may just need to replace the end caps altogether, because this main body, this piece right here, is all one piece, and then you have the two ends. So the two ends wouldn't be too hard to replicate. Yeah, so I don't know. That'll be something to kind of look at and see what it's like once we get this stripped and ready to kind of go back together. So now, let's just try to get this paint off. All right, so take a look at this. It looks pretty darn good. Got some pretty cool patina in it. Still have some spots to get, some spots that were low, like there that the grinder couldn't get, and right along this rib. Then like along the back. And I was just thinking where these things were attached. It's probably spot welds that was holding it together. So here's the ends. So just need to kind of clean up a few spots on it. Still kind of figuring out what I'm going to do with the inside of it. I'm going to clean that up. But then really just need to clean up like where these spot welds were. I think that's what it was. And then get around like these the nubs where the lid latches. So I have a few spots to hand sand like that, just because the flat disc couldn't get to it. But I mean, it's looking pretty good. So we'll keep moving along. So since these two ends have really been completely burnt out by these welds, it's going to be hard to replace that or patch it. So what I've decided to do is just take and cut these side panels out and just replace those. And we'll lose a little bit of the original, original metal and the patina that's on it, but this is just, I don't know, it's pretty bad. So, but we'll still, keep the main body of it. So I think that'll be enough, enough for me anyways. So I'll just take the angle grinder and cut these two edge pieces off. So now that I have these sides off, I'm just going to use the grinding wheel to clean up the edges and the material that was left from these sides on both sides of it, just to get down to our hole basically, and then clean up the back side of this where the hinge was spot welded. So I'm going to do that. Should get that nice, and then that'll just give us the room to be able to bend our new pieces and put them back in there. All right, there we go. Got the insides of each one ground down and got the back cleaned up. So now I'm just going to start tackling the inside of this with a wire wheel and a drill and see how that does, and see what kind of surface that leaves, and then go from there on what further we'll need to do to try to get this cleaned up. So this isn't complete by any means, but the wire wheels seem to do pretty good. I'm getting the major surface rust off of it. And really, the inside of this box, it doesn't need to be perfect and really ground down like the outside, just because, one, it's going to be scuffed and used as tools are thrown in and out of it, and then it's harder to get to as well. So we'll just kind of make do with what we have, and then just see how well we can get to it and what other means we may have of clearing this rust off and getting it down to a little bit better surface to try to paint up at the end. So not bad on this one side. I'm just going to keep at it and see what I can get the rest of this to come out to. Well, the wire brushes worked all right. Just taking off the surface rust. So I had to come up with another idea because this wasn't going to really cut it for me. So I went and got an abrasive blaster from Harbor Freight. I know everyone always hates on Harbor Freight, but cheap stuff is in my ballpark. So I'm just trying to ball on a budget here. And right now the power is actually off here. So we got it hooked up to the generator, to the air compressor, and then to the blaster. So I've never used one of these before, so we'll see how it goes. And this is going to be my first time using this one, so we'll be in it together. So I think it should work all right, but we'll give it a rip. Post sandblaster, this thing looks fantastic. And so probably just a few minor touch-up things just to kind of wipe this whole thing down, get all the dust and any kind of fingerprint oil off of it. And then I got the lid as well, hit that both sides. And this, I hadn't did the inside of this with the grinder, and it probably took me a minute or a minute and a half to strip this of the paint and rust that was on it. It was incredible. So this thing, I am very happy with it. Once we got a few things figured out on working it, getting the tip right, and there are a few bigger pieces of slag in there. So this was one that got clogged up in the tip. So just kind of figuring that out, but it worked great. So I'm very happy with it. And now we can move on. So the next thing that we need to do is get this hinge off. And I'll probably just try to bend up the hinge and the few spots that it's not spot welded. And then maybe take the cut-off wheel to try to cut it in between and bend it up. And I don't know, we got to get it off without destroying this lid. So that's the next thing that we're going to work on. And there we have it, what remains of the hinge. So just took and beat up, or used a screwdriver to pop the top. So it's hard to see on here, but it's a little wavy. But I put the screwdriver in between each one, kind of bent it up, and took the cut-off wheel and cut down, and was able to pop off the middle sections that weren't welded, and then just took the grinding disc and got rid of what was left. So we are in great shape on both of these. Got them stripped down and ready to start going back together, really. So we still need to straighten out the edges on everything, so on here and here, but that is going to be it for this one. Still don't have power and starting to get dark, so that's going to be it for this one, guys. Stay tuned for the next episode. I am ready to get this thing back together. We'll be finishing it in the next one, so we'll be straightening it out, making the end caps, painting it, and riveting it back together. I'm excited. Really excited to get this finished, and I'm really happy with the progress so far and what it looks like. But thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe, share with your friends or someone that you would think would like this kind of restoration or would just be interested in it. Looking to grow the channel, so kind of branching out to different projects. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next one.